For example, ever since January, we've been trying to get specific figures and numbers about the financial aspects of our contract with CCMC. The board refuses to give us that information. Now they say CCMC won't tell them, well that's even more disgraceful. You have a very messy situation there that has to be straightened out, and it seems to me that it's a terrible waste of the talent we have on many of our committees if the board doesn't work with them closely enough. Thank you.
Well, I see it a little bit different. We have some excellent committees, and I believe over the last year, 2 years, they have really come together. Now, everybody is really down on CCMC, but I can tell you one thing. Our general manager has a program now where if properties has a project, they run it through safety to see if there's a safety problem. If they go through them, they go to the finance department. I think we have a good handle on what these committees are doing. One other thing that I might bring out, this year we have started on a quarterly basis a meeting with the board of all the committee chairs, and we go over their committees. Are they happy with their committees? What can we do to improve your committee? And I think it has brought them closer into the fold.
Sue Ellen will be the last questioner, but the next question.
Good evening. Sue, I'd like to commend you on asking for a golf course committee, because I've been asking the board to do something with the golf course. I don't live on it, but I'm shameful to bring people here to see green. I went to TPC, it's beautiful. If they can do it, we can do it. Now going into my problem with the existing board and the policies that we do have, I was very, very disappointed that we only accepted one bid for the landscaping. Now, that is not good fiscal policy. Everyone sitting up there said they want fiscal policy. In fact, we have comments like we should be frugal but not cheap. We have another man up there that's negotiated major contracts, and I don't think they negotiated a major contract for $250,000 with only one bid.
Do you have
The question is, if elected, I would like to see that we increase that to a bid policy of at least 2 or more for any projects over $10,000, or you can set the rate on how much it should be. Thank you. The question is, no, accepting a one bid policy. Will they change it to a 2-bid policy for contracts over $10,000? That's my question.
I agree with questioning not only Joe Miller, but CCMC and their contracts. I think it's profitable and good business sense, you know, to look at the alternatives for not only Joe Miller and CCMC, but also, I don't know about you, but I checked 2014, we paid $20,000 per month for housekeeping, and they're contracted with us, and I think that is outrageous. I think we needed to relook at that and readdress that, and so I think we need any contract that we have. We need to be proactive to see what's out there, and are they providing the services that we need and providing it with good cost? What's reasonable, what's fair? And was there another question with those?
Yes, setting a format that you have to follow policy. Any contract over $10,000 should have at least 2 or more bids. That was the comment. I asked another board member if he thought that was a good base. Or you can change the base, but we do need 2 or more bids.
I don't think that's bad business sense. You know, I just think that we need to have the more information we have, the better we're off, and better we can make decisions. So You know, if you're setting a standard though of money, you know, I don't know exactly the $10,000 where you're coming from with that. So I would have to really look at that further and say, you know, I'm not going to say 10,000 is perfect, but there could be a limited amount that would be agreed upon. And I think the community needs to give input with that. Is that something that the community would like to see? You know, I'm ready for the board because I want to hear from you. I don't want a top-down approach anymore. We may be sitting high, but, you know, we're equal together. So that's kind of where I am.
Sam?
I'm all for bids. Any kind of money we spend, we should send bid out. And then if the board of directors are not used to that, let us handle that. Okay, so either small or big spending, we got to have bids. That's how business are conducted, just like your own money. I mean, I'll be here watching your money for you. I mean, you know, if you go out, my wife's here, use coupons. So, you know, with that attitude, you know, we need to make sure not only we get the lowest bid, we also get the best bid. I mean, you know, if someone coming with $9,500, but not the best quality, or best delivery schedule, or the whole works, then I would take that $9,500, go to the other guys with the better quality, say, can you match this? And that's how we should manage your money for you on your behalf. And on top of that, I think the board members really need to be held accountable for whatever the money we spend. I mean, you know, I think the monthly due could be reduced very easily, 10–20% without sacrificing anything. This is really too much excessive waste. You know, this is a golden opportunity for all the homeowners here. You know, one day I can imagine if we don't do anything today or this election, we're going to see the $2,000 toilet pretty soon. Okay, that's my approach. Thank you.
Well, sir, you who asked the question, you should be very pleased to know we already have such a policy that you must get multiple bids over $10,000 to $15,000. This has been approved by the Finance Committee, this is signed off on by the board, and this has been the policy almost from the beginning, I think.
Why did they do it for the landscape project?
Well, this was a special situation. I went to the meeting where they talked about this in this very room before it was refurbished, and they said they were going to use Jean Murillo, and people said, but this is a big contract, why aren't you getting other bidders? And the answer was, Jean Murillo said, we'll give you a 10% discount if you don't get other bidders. Now, I may be off on this slightly, I'm sure he'll correct me. But it was something like that.
No, we're in jail for that.
Say that again? Oh, Lou disagreed. Oh, all right. Now, the other problem is, when you're dealing with very small contracts, it's often very difficult to get multiple bids because people simply don't want to do it, or they realize you're going to go with the person who originally provided the equipment, and they realize they're only being used to provide a bid in order to justify the way the game is played. Now, it's not as simple as you think it is in terms of deciding which supplier you should use. And sometimes this money sounds outrageous, and sometimes what they do is quite reasonable, and sometimes it's not, and it's a judgment call that you're simply going to have to deal with the board making because they're ultimately responsible for the money. And if you don't like how they handle it, go for someone else, like you. Your turn.
My finger.
And
Yes.
I think I can answer your questions.
Thank you.
Number one, when it comes to the landscaping, for example, we spent $194,000 on the south side medians, okay? On one bid. Well, when you talk about 3 bids, the way it reads is 3 bids where practical. How can you go ahead and have a landscaper come in, put in that median, and then Jarmillo, who has the maintenance contract, he is supposed to do it? Do you see any conflict between the two?
None whatsoever. He's accountable to take care of the
Can we
business.
follow procedure here, please, and not get into a debate with residents?
Absolutely,
Thank you.
Bob, you're right. Another thing I can tell you about that contract, $194,000. We had 2 independent contractors come in and check Jarmillo's numbers on those contracts. Both of these independent assessors came back and said Jarmillo was well within the range, and one of them said he is well under the range. I mean, he is a big, big number lower than what they would have estimated the cost to be. It's very hard sometimes to get 3 bids. I work with the properties, I work with the landscape. The properties committee, we would love to be able to get 3 bids. The problem is, a lot of times, you cannot get 3 companies out here unless they know they're going to get the job. They don't even want to come out and bid these places. So a lot of times, you have to go to that statement where practical.
You know, let me,
Because
Mike
everybody
Mike Cutler is next to respond.
So to summarize, I agree with what's being said in that we already have a policy that we're practical. The staff will seek 3 bids on any item that will cost more than $5,000, so that's already a policy. As was said, it's sometimes impossible to get 3 bids for one item. For one project, you're sometimes lucky to get 2, and sometimes you only get 1 bid, and then we have to make a judgment call as to whether that's a reasonable bid, even if it's the only one. And I agree with the analysis of the landscaper. If you hire one to do the maintenance and another one to do an installation, when something goes wrong, each vendor blames the other, and you have no one to take responsibility. So that's a little out of the ordinary, but I understand why it's done that way.
Sue Ellen is the last question.
I've been living here, it'll be 15 years in December. And this board that we have right now is the best board we have ever had. It's a cohesive board, it's a board that listens to each other. People have been feeling the peace, except we who came here. Okay? I am 100% behind the committees, the volunteers. I know what it takes to
Do you have,
volunteer.
Sue Ellen, I'm sorry, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. My question is this. From where I'm sitting before and listening to the new candidates, how do you think you're going to work with a board if all you can do is badmouth them? People who have come here and wanted to run for the board, I'll talk fast, and came up and went on and on and on. What's wrong with the board? They never win the position they're going for. I'm warning you guys, you're on the wrong track.
We need
Okay.
a question.
My question is, I want to know whether you realize how much you don't know when you say the things you say, and what you expect to do by getting so many more volunteers involved with no jobs to give them.
Sam, you're next to answer.
Well, it sounds like scare tactics to me. I mean, I thought that was strategy employed by CMCC. Now this is from my neighbor, the homeowner. I can tell you this is a simple solution. If you elect all three new candidates, I think we'll get the job done very easily. Just help hold the current board accountable, which you praise a lot. I guess you are very happy with the home value amount. I mean, I think this is a golden opportunity for all the other homeowners to send a message loud and clear. If you are unhappy with what's going on here, if you're not worried, if you are unhappy with the high monthly due you pay, I mean, this is the time. This is the time. I mean, next year, you only got 2 more vacancies, and whatever will be still remain the status quo. This is the year that you have the chance to get some fresh blood into the board of directors. I mean, look at the new, different direction. Get things changed for the better. Thank you.
I like Mike, and I like Mike. And my middle name is Michael. I've always gotten along with people named Michael. And any criticism I've had of the board has only been in the spirit of trying to make them better and more helpful, as you would correct a child. Now, they are doing overwhelmingly a very difficult, very good job, but there's always room for improvement, and I'd be happy to help them. Thank you.
Mike Singer?
Sue Ellen, I appreciate your comments. People really do not realize, all kidding aside, when I ran for the board, I had no idea what it takes to be a good board member, to be a cohesive board. Until you're there, you really don't know. I think if you ask anybody on the board, even Arlen Hunt, even Bob Norman, even Don Weiss, they'll tell you the same thing. Until you experience it, you don't know what you're getting into.
So why are we running again, Mike? Because we know what we got into and yet we're running. I'll just say thank you to all those who elected this board that's currently serving, and I appreciate Bob and Arlen and Don and the job they did.
Sue?
Well, I take that in good spirit, Mike. You and I are good friends, and we can agree to disagree. He's a great guy. He's been a good board member along with Mike. They've done a good job, but I know that we can also do better. And I just want to be able to bring my talents to the board to be able to offer that. It's a privilege to serve on this board. It's not a right. And it does take a lot of time and energy, and I contemplated it for a very long time. I talked it over with my husband, and we really, took the time to really find out, is this something that I can do? And I believe that it is, and that's why I'm stepping up to the plate and putting myself on the line. This is not easy sitting up here. This is my first time, but I have the willingness to work hard. I have the energy to give it. And if you'll vote for me, I think you'll be pleased.
Okay, since there are no more questions, we will now have closing remarks. We'll start with Mike Singer, and each candidate has 2 minutes for their closing remarks.
I believe this board has accomplished a lot, but there is a lot more to be done. By keeping a majority of this board intact, we will be able to complete the goals that we set for ourselves at the start of the year. We may not agree on everything, but we have been willing to work hard and to compromise for the betterment of the community. Being a board member is not a popularity contest. You'll probably not like everything I say or do, but I will do what I think is best for Siena overall. Once again, I'm asking for your vote.
Mike Butler?
Walt Disney once said, the way to get started is quit talking and begin doing. I'm done talking.
Sue?
We have arrived now where we began. This meeting was to give you a glimpse of the 5 candidates for Board of Directors. As one of those candidates, I hope I have fulfilled that purpose. We all share in our unique talents. We all share a voice of our hopes and dreams. We all share a vision of Siena as friendship community. My value will bring someone who will be good at asking questions to gain insight and mediate solutions. My voice will be one to ask good questions to gain insight and mediate solutions. My vision will be to create more synergy between our board and the residents and move more prudently in our spending. Yet it's been said, a vision must be followed by the venture. It is not enough to stare up the steps, but we must step up to the stairs. Well, I have taken the first step up on those stairs as a candidate for the board. It is up to you to help me get to the rest of the way with your vote. Last and foremost, candidacy to this board is not a right, it's a privilege. But an honor privilege about serving your community. The bylaws for candidacy weren't written with the quota achievement platform, but written simply so that any good resident in good standing could run as a candidate. I promise I will work hard on your behalf to earn your respect and trust, and I would be privileged and humbled to have your vote of confidence. Vote Sue. Vote no.
Sam?
Thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity to present what I think I can do to enhance the property value of Siena and improve the life of the members here, my neighbors. In addition, I want to rebuild and restore Siena to be the same Siena as I first purchased the property here. I think we paid about $50, the annual fees, but the ambience, the general atmosphere is very friendly. I never heard the security would chase down an old lady and fine her $50 for 3 miles over the speed limit. And even worse, they didn't stop her on the spot. She didn't even know she sped. So there's no evidence against her, but she got no other choices but swallow it and pay for it. Just imagine what she's going to do. I mean, first, I can guarantee you, she's not going to refer Siena to her friends, not her relatives. Nobody's going to buy the property here, and I hope she does not move soon. If we get too many people move out of this community, we're going to suffer. And I sincerely hope that all of you would look at this perspective and help me to do the work for you. If you have anything, please let me know. Any feedback, I would appreciate. Thank you.
Time is up. Thank you. Jay?
Siena consists of people of different religions, or perhaps none at all. People of many colors, and people from dozens of different lands. As Americans, we're all equal in the eyes of the law and in our neighbors' eyes. Generally, we are a pretty tolerant bunch. But too many of us are intolerant towards the board, automatically assuming the worst of motives and intentions. Remember the sign on the wall above the piano of the Old West Saloon. Please don't shoot the piano player. He is doing the best he can. So it is with the board. They are all volunteers who are paid absolutely nothing. They donate their time as a gift to the community. We should all be a bit more gracious in accepting this gift. Sure, we disagree with them, and it is fine to be critical. But remember, there is nothing illegal or unethical about being stupid, silly, or ignorant. We have all been there. So while you may feel free to question their judgment, please don't question their goodwill and spirit of service. Lastly, be grateful that Sienna has never had a real scandal. Many local homeowner boards have been taken over by crooks. There have been lots of indictments in recent years. Even though some of our past board members have been rude or obnoxious, they have never been thieves. They have been valiant fiduciaries. While they sometimes spend our money foolishly, they never stole it. They deserve our respect, if not always our admiration. If by your vote you allow me to become a member of the board, I pledge to be as minimally stupid as possible and to be a prudent steward of your money. Thank you.
You will be receiving your ballot soon. Remember, you are voting to fill 3 seats. You can vote for 1, 2, or 3 candidates. If you vote for more than 3, your ballot will be voided. Also, the Sienna website now has an election message board platform located on the left side of the webpage for all election comments and information. Thank you all for coming. The candidates will be here for a little bit, but you can talk to them directly. And